mission to recover our Corvette C6 so we can start the fresh build. Now we got a blown motor C6. We're gonna start from scratch and hopefully have it done within, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. But it's also gonna be a rental car, so we're gonna do two things. Put all the rad parts in it and show you guys how to install it, because we still see a few customers having issues installing the parts. Show you exactly how to do it right, do it once, and go rip.
Okay. We just went through that door. To open every single door.
Boys working hard out there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but I've been told LS Power's the way to go. Sound off. So we just got a motor delivered to us by Lee C Parts. They hooked us up on a great deal for this. It's gonna be a LS3 6.2 liter. Basically what came stock in the Corvette. Everything's good to go on it, really low mileage. Can't wait to put it in the car. So we're gonna go pick it up. It just got dropped off for us. LS things. Lee C Parts, best LS's in the business. Great deal. Miles are on this thing. 34,000 mile engine. Yeah. So, spicy.
Car blew up, put a new motor, putting angle kits, putting hydro. Let's go.
Dropping drivetrain. Gonna show you how to do it all.
Cricket's gonna hold the flashlight, learn new cuss words.
I didn't think there was any more new ones you had. I'm so excited.
All right, so we get questions all the time on how to drop the driveline out of these things. Makes it easier to service stuff, like if you're doing a clutch, a slave cylinder, swapping a motor, doing a cam, anything like that. Like a lot of times it's easier just to drop the entire driveline. So we're gonna give you a step-by-step on how to actually drop everything out and be able to just work on it on the floor. And also make it easier for us to show you how to do the dual caliper bracket, the angle kit install, and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do all of the wiring. I'm gonna remove the wiring harness while Chris does all the other important stuff. Because I mean, let's be honest, all I gotta do is unclip a bunch of stuff.
First thing you want to start with, you remove the battery tray and all that stuff down here, as well as your fuse box, and there's connectors that go to your transmission harness as well as your engine harness. Your ECU is down here in the fender, so once you unplug all that, you can put it up on top of the motor, and that's the majority of the wiring. Instead of having to do like 50 connectors on the motor, it's just like 5 connectors over here on the side.
Okay.
What's that have, an 8, a 10? Plastic bits?
It's a 10er and a 7, and then these little plastic push rivets, which the devil himself invented.
Use a bin for what?
Organization, so you don't lose stuff.
We drippy, man.
In their incredibly inconvenient ECU location on this car. It's right in there. But did they put it somewhere different in these years? No, it's right here.
Tucked up higher?
Yes.
Oh, they just went up higher with it. It's about damn time.
This ECU is way better than like the 0506 model that actually put the ECU right here. Then with like angle kits and stuff, we end up moving them up higher anyway. So these ones are actually already up here, which makes our life that much easier. So we don't have to relocate the ECU, but we still do have to unplug it.
What I missed? I have to do important legal stuff for packages coming in.
So there is 4 7mm bolts that go into the top of the fuse box. If you take those out, then this portion of the harness will come out. Part of this goes to the ECU, part of this goes inside the car, and then part of it goes to the engine harness. Obviously you can just kind of track the wires to figure out what goes where. So these ones here, we don't have to remove because those just go right inside the car. So those ones can stay away. This one here just goes to the forward portion of the harness. So the only one we're really worried about in here is this guy, because this is our engine and transmission harness. So that is going to get fed underneath these brake lines. We're just going to lap it up over on top of the motor. Nice and easy.
I am disconnecting the 2 rear brake lines from the brake controller because those are actually attached to the chassis, and in order to drop the drivetrain we have to take those 2 out. So I'm just removing those 2, and then I'm going to disconnect it from the master cylinder with those 2 lines, and the whole assembly can drop out after that with no more.
And also remove the 2 heater core lines here, which will also stay in the engine bay, as well as the radiator and condenser. So he disconnected the upper and lower radiator hoses, and we just zip tied them up on top of the radiator. So nothing catches on our way out.
And obviously the little intake.
Yeah, intake we took off as well, which was easy. It was just a little flathead screwdriver. Disconnect that. You have a MAF airflow sensor, and that was it. Just and 2 clips in the front right here that you just had to pop out with those things the devil made that Chris talked about earlier. Little plastic clip. Those ones.
These are our 2 ECU connectors. Those ones. This is our positive terminal, obviously came off. And then there's all of these connectors here, which are tucked up in here, right by the ECU. So once you get all those connected, you'll see that this is the portion that goes to your engine. Now we'll just go over here and drop everything. Wires, wires, wires. But when you disconnect this, you don't have to disconnect anything else on your drive line except for 1 ground above your rear subframe. Makes it easy.
Don't forget about that one. Everybody forgets about that.
Yeah, we might have forgot about that one once or twice. But luckily, grounds are easy to replace.
So the EPA is asking me, what did you do with all the gas that was in the AC?
Well, this AC system wasn't charged.
Okay.
I put my screwdriver on the Schrader valve, and there's nothing but air in there, so we got lucky on that one. Or if you were pulling the motor out of the top, you can actually just unbolt the compressor and leave the lines connected. But fortunately for us, this thing was already drained.
No.
It's like a pill bottle.
I'll figure it out.
It literally just pulls up. You don't have to keep screwing it. Just pull up.
Yeah.
Savio said the same thing when he was trying to put it together. He was like, why does this take so long to screw on? I'm like, it's off, dude. It's off.
You gotta push down.
So once you get all these harness pieces here past underneath these AC lines and heater core lines, then you just kind of zip tie them up to the top of the motor so when it drops down it doesn't catch anything. Just keep an eye on that because you don't want to pinch that harness. It's expensive. So now that pretty much everything on the motor except for our fuel line is disconnected.
Removing the brake booster, the hose for it, because that's also attached to the engine. So that's going to go as well. Now the only thing we have left is Chris doesn't have his quick connects or disconnects, so he's going to do it from fuel rail. Basically.
Yeah. So instead of disconnecting this, if you don't have a quick release tool, you can just unbolt the 4 bolts for the fuel rail itself and just swing it up on the windshield and let it live there, which is fine because we probably have to send these injectors out to get cleaned anyway. You're doing great. So now that can just live right over here.
Your steering shaft.
I promise you there is a bolt down there. There it is. That's it.
I'll be unbolting the upper control arms here because we kept the brake lines on the cross member. We can leave the front calipers connected. Cricket's going to go in the car and disconnect the shifter, and then we can start unbolting shocks and all that.
We have to take apart this center console to get the shifter out because there's like 4 bolts that hold this shifter thing in here.
What happened to the handbrake cables? Do you have to undo those too?
Yeah, we'll disconnect those. Once we put the car up in the air, we're going to take the exhaust out of the way, and then the service plate that's underneath there, and then we'll be able to get to all of that fun stuff. There she goes. I just felt that knuckle just brush the hair on my shin, so that was really close. Watch your legs.
Can you talk about how Corvettes don't have springs?
Yeah, they have this big leaf spring that runs from one side of the car to the other that has like bolts on it that stop the lower control arm. So that kind of serves as your springs on both sides, and the shocks just obviously help to control the rate. What's cool about them is that the bolts on them, if you just back those bolts out, you can lower your Corvette. It's nice and easy.
Alright, Craig, I can't film right now. Can you film?
Yeah, I can film. I'm good at holding cameras and flashlights. So Chris got that clip off and just showed me that that actually has a check valve so all of your brake fluid doesn't piss out, which is really nice. I'm going to show you what we ended up doing. So took out the upper control arm. That is a 18. You can either use a short, shallow socket or a wrench to get to it. Your shocks are a 13. Do this inner one first. Otherwise, when it goes to drop down, it'll kink and pinch that inner one. So do your inner and then your outer. It makes it a lot easier. And then this is where the brake line disconnect is, where the crossover is and everything. So that's, you can get to it from the side of the wheel well or underneath the car. We did it underneath the car because it was on the jack. So make sure to disconnect your grounds. Dropping the exhaust, we ended up doing the sway bar because it's a lot easier to loop the exhaust around by dropping the sway bar on there. So everything is set in the rear. We just have to disconnect the subframe here, and then finish undoing the subframe up front that Chris has already started and broken the bolts to. So he's just lining up the jack stands. You need 4 on the front of the car and 2 in the rear is good enough, but definitely 4 on the front.
Yeah, so we're gonna pull the motor out the pallet and then see what we need to transfer from that motor onto this motor. From what I understand, this thing's pretty complete. Just gotta kind of see if they chop the harnesses or anything like that. These guys are pretty efficient with the packaging here, though, if you look at it. Everything's like nice and bolted and strapped. Dibs. That's totally mine. You didn't see that. We are pulling all of the stuff off of the cross member. We're going to pressure wash this thing because it had a power steering leak, and I'm not going to put that pretty motor on this crusty subframe, as well as pressure wash our transmission, which for some reason has like an inch of dirt on it. Don't know why. But we're going to pressure wash all that because we want everything to be clean, so when we work on it we don't get super dirty. So first thing we got to do is unbolt the torque tube from the motor and get that thing out of the way. Then we'll roll this cross member over to the wash bay and get it all pressure washed and pretty.
Guess what I'm doing today?
What are you doing today? Filming?
No, I'm going to BC.
No, he's taking the Drift Games guys over there.
No.
Well, he's getting us coilovers for this thing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just going to come out. So when I loosen it, it just spins inside the insulator.
Oh.
The stud broke off, so
It's gonna come out anyway.
do it.
See?
Okay, don't panic. Everything's fine. Yep, exactly. I don't understand how this mount. Oh, you missed a bolt there, dickhead.
Oh, I broke it free. I just forgot to, zip it out. I just broke them all and then went back.
That is half the battle. Yanking at it for 20 minutes. Like, I don't know why it's not coming out. I think I know.
Oh, look, free.
Oh, well, there it was.
It's crazy how much that one bolt was holding, right?
I didn't think one bolt would be that strong. Why do we even have the other 5?
We're gonna go pressure wash all this nasty stuff. I gotta get a bag to put over the ABS module because you don't want to get water in that.
All right, I'm gonna go to BC.
Why don't you go to BC?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
It'll be nice and clean.
Yeah, nice and clean.
Nice and clean.
All right. What's up?
What's
How you
going on?
doing, Joel?
Cody, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hey, what's up, Sales?
Bom dia. What's up, Joel?
I know that guy right there. Go for gold. Yeah, people always ask, what is the benefit of a Swift spring?
Basically, the biggest difference is going to be less spring deflection, so it's going to be more of an accurate, true spring rate. So most coilover springs will be, okay, they're at 5K, but when you actually put it on the spring dyno, it can have a variance of anywhere from like a 4.2 to like a 5.2K. So these are 100% true, accurate, has a smoother transition from compression to rebound than generic springs, as well as they come in different sizes and rates that most other springs don't come in, where these are available in multiple different rates and lengths for most of the chassis.
So apparently the Drift Games boys are not making it. So I just got a private tour, got to see BC. So they're gonna show us the new updated design with the spherical joint instead of the rubber joint at the bottom. Okay, cool.
There we go. So this is the option with the spherical bearing with the bar for the FDF kits. So it basically helps solve any issues with any of the bushing coming out after a lot of wear and tear with the big angle kit. So it should be good to go now.
Gotta take these back to the boys. Yo, look who decided to show up as soon as I started getting some B-roll of the place.
Got a little bit of an issue trying to get some tests so we can fly home. So
Oh yeah.
we got delayed.
Okay.
So
Well, that's BC.
we're here.
There's a bunch of stuff in there. I'm gonna show you stuff, so I guess you guys will get content for your own channel. And
Awesome.
let me just grab you the merch that I have for you guys.
Perfect.
For you guys. I didn't expect to see you guys here. I think it's all Josh's fault.
Why it's always my fault,
It's
isn't
always
it?
your fault.
Always mine. We go with that pretty much every day. So when we just said,
Have we missed the tour? Have you been in?
Yeah, I already saw everything. Got all this cool B-roll and all that stuff. You know.
so we gotta do that all over again for our channel now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, different.
But definitely check out
audiences.
Drift Games because it's far more entertaining. It's gonna be later. It'll be better, but it'll be later.
Well, good stuff takes time, you know.
That's for sure. Well, thank you very much to BC. We're going to roll in and check out everything in there. So looking forward to it. I'm sure you guys have seen it all at this stage. So we're like on tour number 2.
Check out Drift Games.
Yeah, we're going to be doing we got a lot of video stuff from this trip. So if you guys want to see everything from a more unprofessional and unorganized and touristy sort of squeamish side of view, then go to Drift Games.
Yeah, you guys did some alligator stuff last time, no?
Yeah.
We did. It
You
was
guys
fun.
saw some gators?
We saw some gators, some turtles. We shot some guns.
We're not sure how we're going to fit that in yet, but
I'm not sure how that relates to car content, but I'm not
segue
sure
into
how we segue to it, but it was very entertaining.
All right, for sure. Well, you guys enjoy BC, all right?
Thanks, bro.
All right.
See you, dude.
See you guys.
Thank you.
You guys going back to the compound?
Yeah, we'll head on the way.
All right, see you there.
you.
Bye. Ding dong. Yeah, I expected the whole thing to be already done already.
We don't have motor mounts.
we don't have parts for that.
I'm
But
sorry.
We did disassemble all of the lower control arms and the knuckles and took the brakes off because we got to do the extended brake lines in the FDF kit. So it's much easier to move this around than it is to move it with all of that on there.
Cool.
We also
Well,
pressure washed everything.
Look how clean the transmission is now. Look at that.
wow, looks like it didn't even move.
And look at this little cheat code I came up with to line the subframe up. Got a string.
I can't even see the string. It's like movie stuff, movie spec. It's not there.
My wire fighting team.
Power Pro, 12-pound test.
Look at that. So that way we know that our subframe is back in the right spot.
Okay.
Our little dangle.
Also known as a plumb bob.
Plumb bob.
Plumb Bob.
Plumb bob millionaire.
Well, I got you guys some gifts for the car. It's coilovers and some more stuff. Come, come.
Go right out.
We're gonna have BC clothing all around all
My
year.
greasy hands.
It's okay.
It's a good thing it's in the bag.
There it is. Bam.
Bam.
Y'all.
Thanks, BC.
We don't want to wear these though. We'll mess these up. These are go out shirts.
Fresheners and stickers.
Yeah, definitely need those.
No.
Thanks,
I
BC.
think I'm getting this one.
Yeah, you probably need that.
This one for, you know, shooting out car stuff.
You got what we wanted. Swag.
So that wraps it up for today, guys. Next day, we're going to be getting into installing the dual caliper brackets and the hydro lines, as well as the hydro and a few other things on the interior. Stay tuned.
Wouldn't it be cool if they liked, subscribed, I don't know, all this stuff?
I hate that plug. I really hate that plug so much.
Alright,
Follow, watch us, do stuff, install stuff.